This is Johnny Somali. He's facing 20 years in a Korean prison for what he did live on stream. And while streaming, we found out exactly how bad it got. What is up with content creators, streamers, YouTubers going to foreign prison for something ridiculous? Like, we have the previous dude that went to North Sentinel Island to give them a can of Coke, going to jail for 5 years in India. American, by the way. Then we got Johnny Somali, who's going to Korean prison for 20 years.
It's safe to say one of the most disliked live streamers in the world just realized he destroyed his life chasing internet attention in South Korea. As things have somehow gotten even worse for Johnny Somali out there, because not only has he been slapped with more charges, but one of these new charges, they come with a mandatory prison sentence of at least 3 years if convicted. And considering South Korea has about a 99% conviction rate, it's not like you really need to be a legal expert to see where all of this is going. But what makes all of this even dumber is the fact that Johnny, just like everything else, live streamed him doing everything. Just like how he live streamed himself prank calling the police for $5, how he live streamed himself.
Was this on Twitch? If this was on Twitch, bro, like, it's GG's all like all around. Like, bro, you got a round of applause from Twitch staff because your account is going to be gone. Like,
harassing construction workers, stalking other streamers, showing up late to his own trial after drunkenly insulting the judge and prosecutors while also live. Oh, and
you know, he looks annoying too. Not this guy, but Johnny Somali, he looks annoying.
His new defense, he's apparently trying to pull the I'm bipolar card to avoid jail time. Good luck with that, especially because he's already pleaded guilty to 3 charges in the exact same case. So today we're diving into how Johnny somehow managed to stack 5 criminal charges in just a few months, all of which could send him to prison for years, all for the attention of like, what, 20 teens?
Bro, I mean, like, he can't opt out of it either because he quite literally filmed himself doing the crime.
Teenagers online. But on top of that, we're also talking about a new investigation which could lead to another decade in prison for him. So it's safe to say things are just not going his way over there. And speaking of doing stupid stuff live, he also leaked a conversation between his pretend lawyer and his real lawyer live. So it's safe to say things are becoming more and more telling of how screwed he really is. And this whole nonchalant act is in fact nothing more than just an act that's going to backfire on him massively. So let's get into this disaster. So as of right now, I saw him pleading guilty to 3 charges last time I traveled out to South Korea. This was for disruption of business revolving around the incident at 7-Eleven in Mapo that we actually went to in
No way, dude. He's throwing ramen inside the shop. What do you expect to happen? A slap on the wrist? Bro, you forget where you're at right now. You're in a completely different country, dude. I know you got crackheads over here in the States, but bro, they don't let that slide over there. They don't.
My video. Then there were the 2 Minor Crimes Act violations, which are essentially misdemeanors here in the US. One for twerking on people and blasting music on the subway, and one for shoving a rotten fish in people's faces and blasting music on a public bus. And since then, he's been hit with even more charges. His deepfake charge, which carries a minimum of 3 years in prison if convicted. Then there's another obstruction of business charge involving Latte World. And then on top of that, to make things even worse for the dude, there's a new investigation that can give him an additional 10.5.
Isn't like a visa 3 months or something? Does bro live over there? Every clip that I've been seeing throughout like the past year and a half, 2 years has been him over there.
5 years in prison.
Does he live over there?
Going through and charging him with this, and that investigation is for child
speed running jail time
harassment.
He has to be.
An incident of him spamming horrific slurs.
No, this is all planned by Johnny Somali. He is going to somehow get a phone, a working phone in prison. He's going to IRL stream him doing pranks on the prisoners and guards. Bro, he's planning ahead there.
There's at kids in Korean while at Lotte World. Lotte World, if you didn't know, is a kids theme park that has similarities to Disneyland and a kids-oriented version of Six Flags. Because in this clip, he walks around with that infamous Bluetooth speaker that's gotten him in so much trouble in Japan. And he lets people donate to use him as a proxy to harass kids in the worst way possible. And while he doesn't understand Korean and wouldn't be able to understand what the text-to-speech was saying, at the end of the day, it's still on him. He's allowed himself to be this vessel for these completely unacceptable interactions. The last thing you want as a parent is, you know, taking your kids to some theme park for them to be harassed through some dude's speaker as he's filming and live streaming your kid's reaction for the entire internet.
Bro, that is crazy.
That should not be accepted, and that's why it's so important for these streamers to be extremely careful with how they use the
like literally, like the speaker says something horrendous at the same time pointing the camera directly into the kid's face. As a parent, I wouldn't take that. I would not. Dude, that's a fight right there. I would not take that
the
at all.
text-to-speech feature in public, as they are the ones responsible for whatever comes out of the speaker that's on their backpack. But in addition to his public defendant, which is essentially the lawyer he's been using up until now, Johnny has now gone out and got himself a real lawyer. Or, well, it seems like his friend Hank has done so for him. And this is what—
Bro, at this point, he has to get the same lawyer that Young Thug has. Like, at this point, he has to have that lawyer. There's no other way.
Legal Mindset and some other Korean legal analysts have said about his new lawyer.
He has two real lawyers, we're not counting Hank. First is a public defender in the Western District. That is a free attorney that is provided in the Western District where he has an active case. He also has a paid attorney in the Eastern District. Now, the Eastern District charges, as we're going to see, are largely being merged into the Western District. So this paid lawyer is unregistered in the West. So this paid lawyer is unaware of the exact proceedings and what's going on in the Western District. So
Damn.
he really has no idea about what's going on unless he contacts certain people or does extra effort. And it appears that he is kind of being lazy with his proceedings. Also, people that were in the know and some legal professionals and others that analyzed this, as well as people that looked at this lawyer, it appears he's kind of what you might call in the U.S. a strip mall lawyer. He's got a very heavy Korean, heavy specific regional accent, which is very hard to understand. He also seems to be very inexperienced with criminal procedure because he doesn't understand.
It's just a Redditor.
The platform should remove him. Power up, PogChamp, power UPR.
Bro, they should remove him at this point. Like, if they already haven't done it. Like, what is he streaming on at this point? I don't know, like, what he got banned from. Like, was he on Kick? Like, Facebook gaming? I don't know what he was live streaming. He's gonna get banned from everything. If he doesn't, like, go to prison for 50 years. But damn, it's like his lawyer right now is like a Redditor.
His Discord mod got his back.
Bro,
Let's go.
I swear, it's his top paid chatter. Like, it's like one of his mods got him. He's like, dog, I got you covered. Studied law for at least 3 months online. Trust me, dog. Got ChatGPT on my side. But at the same time, dude, like, I hit download on that junk.
Hell no to why?
Yeah, I hit download on that junk. It straight up said 2 years. I canceled out of it. Waited a couple days, hit download again, it said 30 minutes. How is that even possible?
In the concept of merging cases.
So he hasn't cooperated throughout his entire case, and he's only mocked the judge and prosecutors every step of the way. And his new Hail Mary is to hire a strip mall lawyer. Bro has a Korean Saul Goodman at his service. I mean, the train wreck just somehow keeps on wrecking. But again, somehow it all gets worse, because we also found out that the prosecutor trying to bring Johnny to justice is a top 10 prosecutor in all of Korea. And his new attorney over there also stated that the law enforcement over there is very hard to work with for him due to Johnny's behavior throughout the whole trial. Then to make things even worse, Johnny's lawyer met with the prosecutor.
He's streaming the trial. He's pranking the judge.
To beg them to drop the deepfake charges,
I don't
but it
play
was too
new
late.
games.
Ramsey's
File sizes are
lawyer
too big now.
tried to meet with her. Tried to meet this prosecutor to
They
beg
are
her to
huge.
drop with the deepfake case, to beg her to drop it. And as we're going to see with the deepfake case, the hilarious thing is by the time he met with her, it was already too late. The charge had already been indicted. They'd already moved on. They've already processed this. So it was too late to even do that meeting. But they were trying to beg her to drop it because they thought she could drop it, but she'd already indicted and it had already been moved over to the Western District.
That charge alone could be 10 years in prison for Johnny. So for the sake of his own freedom, it's really about
20,
time
30,
he starts
40.
apologizing for real and changes his ways. But unfortunately for Johnny, I feel like that is just way too late for him now, as Legal Mindset explains the timeline of the deepfake charges here.
On February 18th, referred the deepfake case to the prosecutor, which means at that point, it's looking pretty solid. And we had that based on the information that Ramsey flashed across the screen. He flashed across a paper which revealed that this was already sent to the prosecutor. And I called it out at the time and I said, he's screwed on this.
Double or nothing.
Because
Make it 20 years.
Dude, honestly, make it 40, dude. Lock this guy up. Ban this guy for 978 days, mods.
well, on March 7th, he leaked that, right? And then on the 25th, the Eastern prosecutor indicted Ramsey. On the 27th, that indictment moved from the East to the West. The West is where his current case is. They are trying to consolidate everything in that Western district because it's already going, it's already pending, and they want to bring everything over to there so they handle it all in one trial rather than breaking it up into multiple trials.
Like OG
So
God when you
on
get
that
them
day, I knew immediately, and I informed
9,999
everybody
years.
on the 27th.
Yeah, dude.
Because
10,000 years dungeon. That's where you're going. Get in the jar real quick.
of that, Ramsey and Hank were panicking, and they were talking about that with their lawyer. And that lawyer had no idea. I actually predicted that on my stream. I said, his lawyer might not even know, because the lawyer is not registered in the West. He's only registered in the East. So he actually wasn't accessing the right court records that were in the Western District. So at that meeting, he actually said, oh, you're not indicted for this. Oh, you're not indicted yet. He was.
So again, he's played his cards in the worst way possible, then put his freedom in the hands of a lawyer who isn't even registered in the correct district for him to properly help him. Without a doubt, Johnny or Ramsey deserves a permanent spot in the Hall of Fame of influencer morons for his entire trip to Korea. The dude has essentially turned himself into an international laughingstock for nothing. Then he's also trusting this new lawyer for advice.
I wonder what his end goal was. That makes me like so curious on what his end goal was this entire time. Like, what was he trying to accomplish?
And clearly, he's given him a false sense of security.
The lawyer said it's unlikely since you're American, which actually revealed the inexperience and ignorance of this lawyer. Clear example, there was an American that went to jail, that was sentenced to 1 year in jail, prison time, for a single crime. And this was actually predating deepfakes. This was just one cybercrime and an obstruction of business.
Oh
so
my
remember,
God. It's GG's for my guy. Wrap it up, dude. Wrap it up. A American got sent to prison for one crime for 1 year. Bro, that judge is going to have a Microsoft PowerPoint in the background. 48 slides. Every slide is something different, dude. That's another year.
Ramsey has at least 2 obstruction of business charges already on the docket, 2 Minor Crimes Act, and a deepfake. So Ramsey has over double the amount of charges. And that person, that defendant, was completely cooperative with the judge in the court.
Yeah, Johnny's been anything but that. And unfortunately for Johnny, he outed Hank's and his own lawyer's incompetence himself. As again, he keeps on streaming from his lawyer's office, and by doing so, he keeps leaking information about his trial without even realizing.
Bro is actually the most stupid person I have ever heard in my entire life. There is no way. He is IRL streaming important documents from inside the lawyer's office. What are you doing?
It as it's being said in Korean. While Johnny doesn't understand Korean, many others do, including translators that help creators cover the story.
So this is the lawyer speaking.
Bro, look at that goofball.
So what's happening here, guys, is that Hank is trying to be the lawyer, and the lawyer is having to reprimand and say, hey, Hank, like, let me talk first. Stop trying to explain, right?
Bro's brain is as dead as a low-ranking player.
Bro's wearing a cowboy hat and a hoodie. That's another year in prison. Like, what are you doing?
Stop trying to explain. And once again, this is an issue where Johnny didn't understand the Korean, so he just streamed it. But it just shows how incompetent Hank is,
if you're
and how
having a
even
bad day,
even a
remember
lawyer
you
who's
ain't this guy.
he's paying
Bro,
money
100%.
to is saying, dude, shut up. Like, let me talk.
Why is he live streaming this in general? And Hank is the one who's been telling Johnny that everything was going to be fine. And then, of course, they messed up and didn't mute again.
This is the superintendent of the Women's and Juvenile Division at Songpa Police Station. Pay attention to that title, superintendent. Okay. The next section, we're going to talk about police and prosecution. This is wild. Also,
if you ever feel you're useless, remember Sekiro has a map #Saturday motivation.
the crimes that he's charged with are against women and children. They're saying we're referring the case number. That means he was indicted.
예, 감사합니다 하고 그래서 오늘 조금 전에 검사한테 검사하고 통화를 했어.
Wait, that's you. That's me. Wait. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's an uh-oh face from Hank right there. And part of me kind of wants to feel for him as he's been guilted into, like, trying his best to defend his...
Whoa, no.
Rather live stream his legal counseling than have a better chance at having his freedom back. It's like he doesn't care his own freedom's on the line. It's just so stupid. It's baffling at this point. But moving on, another clip came out of him threatening to SA the female police officers that were at the station after getting arrested for his underwear stunt.
I've been to this police station 20 times. It's the first time they can hold me in cuffs. I've been to this police station 20 different times.
But like, they put you. Where do they think you're gonna go? You're like, why are you in cuffs? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't care. The type that they're lucky. I don't.
Dude is really going for the maximum sentence here. He just can't shut up and act right because he has to continuously make everything worse for himself over and over again. And there is nothing that's gonna stop him from doing so, no matter how much jail time he's facing. Like, he's just making it so clear to the South Korean judge and prosecutors that if they want to stop this behavior, they're going to have to force him to do so. Like, he knows all of this is going to be viewed by them, but still, for some reason, claims that he has no regrets whatsoever.
So my question is basically to Johnny,
Oh, nah, dude, the audio file too. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Bro is gonna get sealed away longer than Eisen from Bleach. Like, my god.
I'd like to know is if he has any regrets for what he has been doing over the past few years, especially what's been going on in South Korea.
Zero regrets. Zero remorse.
There is no way. Again, he's just sending these messages to the prosecutor and judge over and over again, it seems. How stupid is it possible to be?
You haven't watched your own videos and all the other things that you've done.
And bro, and also being with let go from a job, like, if you think in the grand scheme of things, everything happened for a reason.
A couple of years, you haven't seen anything. You haven't watched anything.
No, whenever I see clips of it, I laugh my ass off. It's funny.
Then on top of that, he also wanted to show up to his next court date wearing the new Kanye gown.
What do you think about the cake outfit at the court? Is that too crazy? The Kanye one, the same one Kanye had.
Bro, I know it's a wonderful idea, but you won't even have a platform. You'll just get automatic banned.
No, so now I'm gonna get my Instagram deleted again. You're saying
it's a wonderful idea. I'm not gonna lie. It's
a wonderful idea. I'm not gonna lie. Bro has sabotaging friends.
You can't do that and have a platform.
I really want to do the KK shit, but I know.
Bro's friend wants him to go to jail. Like, bro's friend just like, he's just like, all right, dude, I gotta, if no one's going to do it, I gotta help him out.
It's a good idea, but like, why isn't there anybody else doing the stunt? Because
you're right. There's no one else in the world is doing that. You're right. I haven't seen anybody but Kanye.
Bro, he could be doing like anything, bro. He could be showing up to court in like a Goku cosplay. In a full suit of armor, bro could show up to court.
Kanye do that.
No one else done it. I wonder why. Yeah, this is controversial, dude. God damn. Of course no one showed up in the Kanye fit.
Like,
so what could I do at the court? I'm gonna have reporters talking to me at the court, like in 2 days. Like the Korean news.
Now imagine like Korean news. That's how you flip the script, bro. If you're in Korean news, you could be called the Dark Knight. No, I mean, being real though. Korean news is going to be covering you. Don't dig yourself a deeper grave. You show up in a full suit of armor. Full ass suit of armor.
It's coming. The last time I flipped them off and I said I love North Korea.
Oh my god.
I swear to God I did.
It seems like his own personal Super Bowl seems to be being the biggest idiot possible and going for the most amount of time in Korean prison. But what he doesn't realize is, once he's in prison for a year, people will forget about him. And then if he's in prison for like 5 years, almost everyone would have forgotten about him then. And speaking of prison time, the newest investigation might be the worst one for him yet, as he's now facing an additional 10 years in prison if they go forward with this charge. And again, because he live streamed himself doing it, it's not like they have to gather evidence. It's really just if the prosecutor wants to hit him with it or not. But as of right now, Johnny hasn't responded to this new investigation.
Dude, absolutely. Like, he's just digging himself a deeper grave.
And his new trial is delayed.
That is insane.
So I'm sure Hank is worrying because that means that Hank will have to foot the bill for Johnny for even longer until he's inevitably arrested. But that's the most recent update for the Johnny Somali case. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for one, but we have so many more crazy stories coming out this week. Also, shout out Legal Mindset for his great coverage of all this. I'll be linking his channel in the description down below. So make sure to subscribe if you're new here. And
hell yeah, dude. Make sure to check out this guy and triple like the video, dude. Quadruple. quintuple, septuple. I don't know what 7 is, but make sure to hit the like button 7 times.